here. I don't have a word for Thesaurus Thursday today.
I have a good one.
You got one?
Yeah, let's look up the word miscreant.
Okay. One who behaves badly, often by breaking rules or of conduct or the law. One who does not believe in a certain religion. An infidel or heretic. Misbelieving, unbelieving, infidel. So what's the thought behind miscreant? Why should we talk about that on the 25th here?
Well, because science, or what we call science today, is the new religion.
That's sure.
So anyone who disagrees with the official consensus is a miscreant to the scientific establishment. That's what the whole term, like, science denier, is all meant to indicate, is that, that person's a miscreant. You know, he doesn't uphold the orthodoxy of what we want everyone to believe when it comes to material reality. And
well, that raises a good point. Last week we had another one, an interview as opposed to a full, sort of normal episode with Mr. Nathan Oakley of the Flat Earth Debate, and we got a lot of passionate response from the airing of that, and it's interesting because science is basically all he talks about. And but yet it seems so subjective now, science, this whole thing of science. It's when the science works for me, when it's convenient for me, it's just so interesting how science gets disregarded when it's inconvenient, like the American frontline doctors who are coming forward and talking about the mask policy and talking about the vaccination policy and assessing risk in the whole health equation. And they get censored, because they don't follow the science. Well, it's your science. It's YouTube's science. It's the CDC's science. But, it's interesting because even the CDC contradicts itself
all the time
in cases. So who is the arbiter of science? But yeah, miscreant, that it definitely feels like that now. If you go in a grocery store, right, without a mask, or you're the miscreant.
That's right. It's like you're the pauper outside the church trying to collect alms because the church says that it's all for the poor and everything, but all the parishioners going in and out just sneer at you and spit on you and all that kind of stuff. So it's similar now, but now everywhere is the church of science.
Well, that's an interesting point too, because at the same time, churches are not allowed to operate as they have been.
That's right.
The right to assemble is sort of an inherent virtue in our country, enshrined in our founding documents and such. But it would be one thing if the church voluntarily decided that they, don't want to get together on, such and such day for such and such reason. But that's not what we have, is it?
No, it's
it's the government literally. I thought we had separation of church and state.
Oh, no.
Because we got to follow the science. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that underscores my conclusion over, I've not come to this conclusion easily or quickly. It took a lot of time to sort of come to this realization, but most people who even claim to be atheists are in fact not. No. They are religious zealots who believe in the God of the state.
That's right.
And
of the official declarations of scientific authorities that reinforce their pre-existing proclivities to not uphold something that they deem, in contest with their desires.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it is at the end of the day.
Well, we got a 2 T-Fuel donation on Theta Edgecast from a guy who said we do ourselves a disservice by having folks like Nathan Oakley on the show and talking about such ludicrous ideas as flat Earth.
Meanwhile, he hasn't looked into it at all.
But he donated to us because he likes a good laugh. And, others said much nastier things. They said we're fucking idiots. But I didn't see a single refutation of anything that Nathan said. I saw one guy say, the Earth is a sphere, period. And I'm like, oh, so you're the scientific one. Interesting how that works.
Yeah, well, because you're pandering to social perception and the fallacy of social proof. If enough people believe it, it must be true. That's an ad populum fallacy. And really, it's good to be a contrarian when there's such high percentage bias amongst the population about anything. Saying that 95% of people believe the Earth's a terraqueous orb testicle suspended in a giant nothing vacuum, whizzing about in 6 different directions, with no evidence really, except a bunch of tertiary, inferential, indirect references to what other people have said or done or show them, and that's it. It's really